Hi friends, and welcome back to playing tribute to the great Ace Attorney Chronicles. The second one, Resolve. I never know how to introduce the title of the game. Where we are back to go back in time to reminisce the memoirs of the Clouded Kokoro, where we were talking to Soseki, or Soseki, however you pronounce his name, and he was saying like, oh, this case that you were doing for me, Herlock Sholmes told us to be quiet about, and then apparently Professor Mikotoba brought back his daughter because of this, or it was after this. I'm reminding you, because it's been a few days. I'm reminding myself, because it's been about a week since I last recorded. But really, we should just go with the flow and see what's actually happening here.
It was a ghastly tale of a winter's night. One of an invisible killer and a crime perpetrated on the pavement along Briar Road. As the victim lay at death's door, the mystery of just who had stabbed the young lady from behind had been resolved. But no sooner had my friend saved that Eastern Exchange student from his harrowing plight, than in the dim, flickering shadows of gaslight did a second bizarre crime rend the stillness of that very night. I dare say most can still recall the sensational headlines of the day. Haunted apartment of death, the condemned criminal's curse, the dread demon of coal gas. Yet, though the great detective had at once discerned the truth upon his arrival at the scene, it only proved to be the overture that announced the rising of the curtain on a most tragic play.
Those narrations make it seem so intense and interesting. My name is Ryunosuke Naruto. I'm a fledgling lawyer just starting out on my journey. 6 months ago, I arrived as a visiting student of law, having made the long voyage across the sea from the Empire of Japan to here, London, England. And on the way, in quite an extraordinary circumstances, I made an acquaintance of a world-famous detective. Currently, I reside in the attic of the detective's own lodgings, from where I run my legal consultancy of sorts. I've successfully defended a number of clients in Britain's highest court, the Old Bailey. But since particularly grueling and unforgettable legal battle 4 months ago now, I haven't returned to the courtroom. In truth, I lost my right to return. But that epic trial was just one small part of an epic tale. A tale which was now about to awaken from slumber. Thanks to a letter that arrived this morning from my homeland. What delicious smell wafting up the stairs. It must be nearly time for breakfast. I better go down to Mr. Sholmes' suite and say good morning to the great detective and his flatmate. Nothing about the letter? What? The letter? What about the letter? Sorry, I never am patient to wait for that. Nope, I don't have it in there. Okay. Ah, Reno! Good! I was just about to call up to you. The bacon's ready. Good morning, Iris. It smells delicious as usual. Before we eat, though, I have some news. I had a surprise this morning. Shh! Not another word, Mr. Naruto. This could be just the abstruse thing for my pre-breakfast stagnation-repelling mental stimulation, my dear fellow. Morning to you too, Mr. Sholmes. Ah, yes. I see. So that's it. Jeez. Get out of my face, dude. The truth is as clear to me as day. My faculties of observation have revealed it again. What are you talking about? You, Mr. Naruto, you have, this very morning, met up with a surprise. Well, is that not the case? Well, yeah, he said so. Really, my dear fellow, it barely warrants explanation. Firstly, your hair is particularly unkempt, somewhat reminiscent of a bird's nest. Secondly, you have neglected to fasten the third button of your jacket. Clearly, when considered together, these two facts point to you having been flustered this morning. Can I talk now? But of course. Though I don't look for admiration, you understand. My hair always looks like this. I've been this way since I first met you. Oh, it has. And the button was ripped off last night, if you remember. By you. Hurley pulled your button off? Ah, yes, I recall the incident now. It was after supper, was it not? As the evening advanced, I picked up my violin and began to play the wailing notes of a haunting tune. But then, to my utter dismay, the third string snapped. Why did it have to happen? Why? Little wonder then that in my vexation, I grabbed the first button I saw and ripped it from its proper place. Well, I'd like it back now, please. It's troubling me that I can't fasten my jacket. It's troubling me that you expect me to know where it is. Somewhere thereabouts on the floor, it presumes. Helpful. What matters at the present time, my dear fellow, is simply whether or not my deduction was an error. But, Hurley, Runo said it when he came in, didn't he? I had a surprise this morning. Well, that really is a surprise. Yes, this man is the pride of the British Empire. The famous consulting detective, Mr. Sherlock Holmes. There can't be a single person in the world who doesn't know his name. Alright then, enough of this silly conversation. Come and eat this bacon before it gets cold. And I have a new herbal tea for you to try too. My latest special blend. And here we have Iris Wilson, Mr. Sholmes' lodger and companion. A truly exceptional young girl who's the author of the highly successful serialization here in London. Yes, The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes is published in Rand's magazine. So, Mr. Naruhodo, won't you put us out of our misery? What surprise have you this fine morning? What surprised you this fine morning? Oh, well, I received a letter from Japan. Oh, from Susie, you mean? Was it really? That's right, and she had some rather startling news, in fact. Ah, intriguing indeed. You must tell us all about it over breakfast. Oh yes, what fun! This is the letter that arrived from Japan this morning, by international post. Oh, how lovely! Look at Susie's beautiful writing. I wish I could read it. And how is your judicial assistant faring, may I ask? She's very well, thank you. In fact, according to what she's written, she actually appeared as a lawyer at the Japanese Supreme Court and won a case. Oh, really? Oh, isn't she wonderful? Cut above your good self, my dear fellow. I've won cases too, you know. Apparently, Mr. Natsume appeared in the trial as a witness. Natsume. I don't recall that name. Of course you do. We helped the man twice. You know, in those two cases that took place on Briar Road 6 months ago. Ah! The mustache twitching man, with somewhat feline eyes in the mustache. You said mustache twice. He didn't have two mustaches, Hurley. Yes, who could forget those two cases? They made a very deep impression on me. Although I must confess, the details are a little hazy now. A very deep impression they made on you. Clearly. So, what was the startling news penned by Miss Susato? You remember the case of the haunted lodgings, Mr. Sholmes? Ah, yes. It's very interesting, you know. I don't feel entirely uncertain that a case of that nature did not occur. I was totally forgotten then. Anyway, in her letter, Ms. Susato asked that we read over her case notes again and investigate further. Though it took place half a year ago, for what purpose? Because of something that Mr. Natsume said to her, apparently. He suggested that the real reason why she was called back to Japan so suddenly might have something to do with that case of the haunted lodgings. Oh. On Mr. Natsume's return to Japan, Miss Susato's father questioned him about the case, she says, and something Mr. Natsume said appeared to trouble Professor Mikotoba, prompting him to send that telegram. Oh, that case, yes! It was very strange, wasn't it? Yes. And I had compiled the whole story into a nice, neat manuscript ready for publication, too. But then Hurley here was all funny about it, remember? He was very mean. That story must not be published, she said, very mysteriously as well. Really? I said that. Are you sure? Do you perhaps know something about it as well, Mr. Sholmes? About why Miss Susato was suddenly told 4 months ago that she had to return to Japan? Okay, so 4 months ago she had to return to Japan, and that was the same time that we had the last trial of the last case, which was with the, oh, I'm forbidden from the courtroom because I played the Japanese Morse code in court, and it was like government secrets or whatever. But it was the names. So that must be the case 4 months ago that got me out of the courtroom, and so now we're just talking about this old case. So we're not really. I mean, we're kind of out of order because we're gonna go back into this old case and memoirs or whatever. But that's just us talking about it. It's not really going to ruin the flow of things. It's been 4 months now since we waved Susie off at Dover. It was such a shock, wasn't it? The way she just suddenly announced that she had to go back to Japan. Indeed it was, due to a telegram she received from her homeland, I believe. That's right, telling her to return urgently. Yes, because her father had passed away. No, it just said he was suffering from a high fever, the cause of which was unknown. He's not dead. But according to this letter, that news about her father's fever was just a ruse. A ruse? So Susie's daddy lied to her so that she would make the voyage back home. Why would he do that? I have to admit, I have absolutely no idea. But she believes it's almost certainly related to the case of the haunted lodgings. Summoning her back to Japan so suddenly like that. I wonder what Miss Susato's father is hiding. Hurley, do you know what it's all about? Oh. Looks like he's ready to go somewhere. Ah, well, who can say? What? But you said... Please, I have engagements, my dear fellow. My calendar is quite surprisingly full today. What, ever since we talked about this mysterious case that you're being all secretive about? A stringent analysis of the matter would be excessive, I feel, even if I were quite at leisure. Or do they say leisure? So, man the fort in my absence, won't you, Iris? I will, Hurley, don't worry. See you later. Where are you off to? He scuttled off rather quickly there. I think perhaps Professor Mikotoba isn't the only person hiding something here. Saseki-san was involved in 2 cases, but only one of them was forbidden from being published. By, of all people, Mr. Sholmes. Aha! I found them at last. Iris, are they... The notes about the case? That's right. Susie and I compiled them together. The case of the haunted lodgings. Do you want to read them, Runo? Absolutely. Thank you, Iris. I have no idea what secrets can still be hiding in the shadows of the case. But perhaps if I read over the notes again, something might come to light. That's the spirit. And so Iris and I decided to read over the case notes again together. Everything from what happened to our investigation and that fierce battle in the court that followed. Reliving every detail. I just need to find a clue. And I have all the time in the world. Because of course, I'm no longer allowed to practice law at the courts of Great Britain. Yeah. I bet it was the secrets. The government secrets. It was 6 months ago, a mysterious incident that unfolded on the wintry streets of London. Not that one, the other one. A young woman was found lying in the snowy pavement of Briar Road with a knife in her back. Unfortunately, her life was spared, but she was unconscious for several days following the incident. The fog was thick and nobody saw her attack her. But by a cruel twist of fate, a visiting Japanese student was walking behind her at the time and was duly arrested. That man was Saseki-san and Sosuke-san. Sosuke-san? And the man who effected his arrest was Mr. Sholmes. Believing in our compatriot's innocence, Susato-san and I decided to represent Saseki-san at court. And after a grueling trial of many twists and turns, we finally managed to prove his innocence. Oops, I dropped my joyful, joyous, jubilant, jubilation! Was the man's reaction after the trial. But his jubilant jubilation was short-lived. We received a telegram from Mr. Sholmes the following morning. The victim of the Briar Road stabbing has regained consciousness. Hurry to Bart's at once. I was still in Rand's case voice with that. So Susato-san and I summoned a hansom and hurried immediately to the hospital. Alright, this was before the final case, but right after the second to last case. Because the second to last case was the Cloud of Kokoro. And then there was the final case. Right? The second to last case was the Cloud of Kokoro. Yeah, because it went... tutorial... boat... terrible case of the guy that I know... that, it was not innocent. Kokoro... final case. So yeah, we'll just go back a little bit. There you are at last. Good morning, Mr. Sholmes. I think not. Oh? Oh right, Suzato's here because it's taking place then. You're late! What on earth took you so long? Your telegram only arrived at 5 o'clock, Mr. Sholmes, and it's a 20-minute ride to the hospital. That's right, and it's 5:30 now. I think we made very good time. The time is utterly irrelevant. The fact is, I have been waiting for what has felt like an eternity. In point of fact, I myself was awoken at 4 this morning by a telegram boy, and feeling it was somewhat unjust that I alone had to be roused at such an hour, I sent one to you. Well, thanks for that. Anyway, you're here now, so the victim is over there. She's only just regained consciousness. You should introduce yourselves. And I shall observe from here. So that's the lady who was found on the snow-covered pavement with a knife in her back. I keep saying on, I don't know why. Her name is... yes, here we are. Miss Green. There's just a mouse in the middle of this hospital that's about the size of a person's arm. Like, are we just gonna ignore this? This elephant mouse in the room. Eek a mouse, Mr. Naruto! An enormous mouse! It is enormous. Vermin in a hospital? That doesn't seem the best. But it looks like a very healthy specimen, doesn't it? It's very plump. I'm not sure we can say that it's down to the excellence of this facility, if that's what you were thinking. That's terrifying. Also, is there anyone important in this photograph? Look, there's a photograph in this frame here. Oh, we do zoom in. Look at that. Oh yes, it's a picture of a young gentleman. Looks to be about the same age as Miss Green, I would say. Perhaps the young woman's special someone, do you think? My, Mr. Naruto, I didn't know you had a sense for matters of the heart. Not in the least. I sincerely said the first thing I thought of. This rounded wooden figure isn't the most charming, is it? I don't think that's a decoration, Mr. Naruto. It's an artist's mannequin, I believe, used when practicing sketching the human form in different poses. Really? Not exactly what you call a typical figure for that purpose, though, is it? No, I suppose not. I confess I've never seen one quite so full-figured before. Well, if you want to draw a full-figured person, it's the right tool for the job. So he's an artist, and this is his little figure thing to draw her, is my guess. If he is, in fact, her special someone. Or, unless she's an artist, because there's an easel here. Unless he was visiting her. I wonder what's on this canvas. I guess we're not going to be able to look. Alright, let's go talk to her. Good morning. What's her voice going to be? Oh, she is an artist. Look at that. Hello. I'm Ryusuke Naruto from the Empire of Japan. Oh no! Was it your knife that... Are you the man who... No, I'm a lawyer. And I'm Susato Mikotoba. Pleased to meet you. Oh no! Was it your knife then? Are you the one? No, I assure you. I'm Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant. We heard that you regained consciousness and wanted to come give you our best wishes. Best wishes? For me? Thank you. I'm Olive. Olive Green. I'm an artist. Well, no, that's not right, is it? What I mean is, I'm trying to be an artist. Well, what I really mean is, I desperately want to be an artist. But the truth is, I don't have any talent. I know I don't. It's no wonder I was stabbed in the back. I don't think that's related, actually. Gosh, this young woman seems to bend over backwards to put herself down. Seeing as we're here, we should ask her about what happened from her perspective, I suppose. To suddenly be struck in the back by a blade as you were walking along the pavement, what a terrible experience you had, Miss Green. It was so cold that day, and fog was thick, and I couldn't see a thing. That was 4 days ago now, I think. Is that right? Yes, that's right. I'm afraid you've been comatose all that time. But the case has been solved, hasn't it? Well, I've been here in hospital, I mean. Indeed it has, my dear madam. Spectacularly, by none other than I, Herlock Sholmes. Excuse you. Mr. Sholmes, as you well know, it was Mr. Naruhodo's hard work in court that solved the case. Are you yet to hear what happened, Miss Green? Yes, I'm afraid so. A gentleman from the police force is supposed to be coming to fill me in shortly. Oh, I see. Me coming round seems to have made everybody frantically busy. I'm so sorry. I should never have regained consciousness. It was selfish of me. Oh, no! We're all relieved that you're on the mend, Miss Green. We really are. With that kind of attitude, maybe her surname should be Blue, not Green. She does kind of look like Sadness from Inside Out. I can see it. The posture, mostly. The roundness and the posture. All she needs is the glasses and her hairdo to be a little bit different. Look at her sad eyes. So, you're an artist, are you, Miss Green? Oh, no. Oh, I couldn't possibly claim that. I'm a fledgling artist at best. I mean, a student of art, really. At the Thorndike Academy of Fine Arts. Oh, my, an Academy of Fine Arts. Great Britain is such a wonderful country. And tell me, Miss Green, do you live hereabouts? Oh, no, actually. I don't deserve it, but I have a little flat on Brixton Road. I see. Very interesting. Oh, no, is it? Brixton is some 10 stops away on the underground from here. And Thorndike Academy is more 3-minute walk from Brixton Town Centre. Does that matter, Mr. Sholmes? Perhaps not. The Briar Road is far less salubrious part of town in comparison, dwelt in by those of inferior means, including the maleficent Mr. Mustache. inferior means. I suppose Soseki-san does fit the bill. I'm just gonna call him what I always called him, because trying to change his name is making me trip over my words. More so than usual. It struck me as somewhat out of the ordinary for a young fine arts student to be walking in such a district. That's all. What's this? She suddenly clammed up. Mr. Sholmes, you should be ashamed of yourself, prying into a young maiden's private affairs. Oh dear me, do forgive me. If you don't mind. I'm being discharged shortly, so I need to pack up my things. Yes, of course, we will keep you. Thank you so much, Miss Green. Something's happening. Ah! Is there a Mr. Narrow Fodder here? Mr. Narrow Fodder? Narrow Fodder now. Well, if you're looking for Naruhodo, the lawyer, that's me, but... Ah, Mr. Narrow Fodder, good. And this is for you. A message from Mr. Saucy Nutmeg. Saucy Nutmeg. Mr. Natsume sent a message to me. Sorry. Mr. Natsume sent a message to me? But why would a policeman be delivering a message from Mr. Natsume? Exactly. What's going on? What's the Scotland Yard constable doing playing delivery boy at this time in the morning? We also did learn about how tough the Bobby's life were. In the case with this woman. Ah, what are you waiting for? Let me see that. It's not addressed to you. Oh. Well, this is most unexpected. Is something wrong, Mr. Sholmes? Something wrong, Mr. Sholmes, he says. Have you not seen this note? No, you ripped it out of my hand. No, how could I have? It would seem that London's criminals have no intention of letting the great detective rest. A new case calls. A case of murder, no less. We must depart at once. Murder? Call a cab. Time is of the essence. But the trouble is, we've yet to read Mr. Natsume's note. I was thinking we ought to pay him a visit in his lodgings once we did. That will be entirely convenient. Convenient? What do you mean? It's all here in the note, my dear fellows. The murder we must investigate took place at Mr. Mustache's lodgings. Wait, what? Oh, hail a what now? A fiacre? Fiacre? I don't know what that is. It must be a very fast cab. Fiacer? No, it wouldn't be. It's soft, see. It was only yesterday that Soseki-san was in court, and we were dispelling doubts about his innocence. And now, the very next day, there's murder at the man's own address? He may very well be the unluckiest man alive. Or so it seemed to us at the time, but we were soon to discover it was worse than we thought. Is he going to be accused of murder again? So, full disclosure, I remember two things about this case. One of the things has nothing to do with the case itself and what happened. One of them does. I will let you know of the things that I remember as we come to them, and I will try not to jump ahead of the game. But I don't remember much. What on earth? Oh my! The gentleman is deceased without question. He's dead. Locum student, Mr. Naruhodo, Esquire. Mr. Natsume. Oh, why? Why is this happening? Why to me? I've only just got out of court yesterday. I was finally home after 2 days of misery. And then I wake up the next day to this. No early bird should catch a worm like this. Woeful worm without wiggle. Yeah. I see you're in high spirits again this morning, Mr. Mustache. Ah, not the horrible airlock, Sholmes. Shoo, shove off, show yourself the door. I never invited you. Mr. Sholmes came here with us. I'm quite sure he'll be able to help you, Mr. Natsume. I'm entirely at your disposal, Mr. Mustache. What can I do for you? Oh, hi. Oh, what was his voice? Here they are already, the busybodies. Ah! Inspector Gregson. What a pleasant surprise. Pleasant is it? Gives me heartburn every time I see your face at the crime scene, Sholmes. Ah! I deduce, Inspector, that your heartburn is a result of your excessive consumption of fried food. Good morning, Inspector. This is a crime scene, don't you go touching anything. Or good morning to you too, Sunshine. Man, there's a lot happening here. In this entire... Oh, what's this? Can I see that? Oi! I said hands off! You're gonna mess up my crime scene. Oh, no, I just wanted to look, that's all. No chance, I know you're kind. You'll mess it up just by looking at it. Someone's in a bad mood. Should probably talk to him. There's certainly some bad air in here, isn't there? Alright, sounds like I better talk to the inspector first and try to curry some favor. Yep, exactly. So, Inspector, what was the victim's name? Who was he? Sorry. They're really trying hard with these names. I love how it's more of a parody than puns at this point. Alright. Mr. William Shamspeare. He was a lodger here. As you can probably tell, he was an actor. Bit of a dead loss as it happens, or just dead. Mr. Shamspeare. It was the landlord, old Mr. Garrideb, and the other lodger, Mr. Natsume, who found him. The fella didn't rise to the usual hours, so Garrideb got worried and kicked the door down. But doesn't Mr. Garrideb have a bad leg? Ah, yeah, you're right there. It was just that jittery Japanese hunchback over there who actually did the kicking. Really? Seki-san? The victim was pretty hard up, it seems. Had even done some time inside for petty crimes. He had no money, no place to go, no friends. His only acquaintances were the people in the house. Miserable life, and miserable end to it. So, what exactly is Mr. Natsume still doing here? He's not involved in the investigation, so shouldn't you have sent him away from the crime scene? Well, I'm not saying it's because the fellow looks odd or anything, or that he acts suspicious, but I thought it would be prudent to take a statement from the culprit. I mean, cohabiter. You nearly said culprit there, didn't you? Oh dear. Mr. Natsume appears to be under suspicion again. Certainly seems that way. He does just come across as such an odd fellow, doesn't he? Poor man. How unfortunate. Anyway, I can't say much until the coroner gets here. But I don't think the fellow's been gone there that long. Body's still warm. Even if the inspector would allow it, I don't think I could bring myself to touch a dead body. Saseki? Should I talk to you? Maybe I can go over here. What's over here? Oh, a candle. Lovely. Let's talk to Saseki. What's going on, man? What a terrible thing to have happened. It's only been 3 days since I was arrested for the incident on the pavement outside. And then, having finally regained my freedom, it starts happening all over again. Endless existence of excruciating experiences. So the victim lived here on the ground floor, and your room is just one story up, isn't it? Is that how you spell story? Yes, that's right, in a way. We were neighbors, I suppose. I guess that's how the British spell it. So, did you know the victim? Were you friends? Sosuke? Soseki, what's wrong? What's the matter with Soseki-san now? It was an innocent enough question, wasn't it? Why does it seem so shaken by it? Well, I suppose he wasn't a complete stranger. But did he ever invite me to... No, never. Yeah, on my honor, I swear it. What an extreme reaction. You're probably wishing you'd never asked now, aren't you, Mr. Naruto? When we found him here, I felt wretched, which is why I sent word asking for you to come. Throw that inspector over there! Oh, hi, Sholmes. You've, something to say. Oh, I can't look at anything because he's gonna say hands off. Okay, so he's still... Let's, What is this pose? What are you doing, dude? I don't even know anymore. Mr. Sholmes, what are you doing? Ha! You need only observe to know, my dear fellow. Investigating naturally. There's nothing natural about that pose. Mr. Sholmes, have you made some miraculous discovery? Patience, my dear madam, patience. We've not been here in this room 5 minutes. So far, all I've managed to deduce is what actually happened. My goodness! But isn't that everything we need to know, Mr. Sholmes? Now that you propose the idea, I believe one could indeed see it that way. At the present time, I've managed to draw 2 incontrovertible conclusions. Yep, it's time for the dance of deduction. The first, there was a physical struggle here last night, and the victim fought for his life. Ah! Ah! Soseki, you have something to say? Mr. Natsume was wrong. Is something that Mr. Sholmes said significant somehow? No, don't mind me. Forget I was here. And my second conclusion is that there was a poison lingering in the air here last night that passed the victim's lips. Nonsense! Huh. All right, Mr. Natsume, why are you reacting so extremely to Mr. Sholmes' deductions? No, please. Pretend I'm not here. Invisible, ineffable, inscrutable, insignificant. Impossible to ignore. You must tell us everything, Mr. Sholmes. Spare no detail. I have a feeling Soseki was here last night. But of course, let the theatrical tragedy before us be unraveled by my great deductions, presented for your pleasure in 2 acts. I've heard some truly astounding great deductions from Mr. Sholmes in the past. No doubt this will be no exception. But miracles will unfold before our eyes this time. So, my dear fellows, for your delight and wonder, let the curtain rise. For Herlock Sholmes' logic and reasoning spectacular. Act 1. Yeah, astonishing deductions and all that. Let's see how much we have to fix. Careful observation. The victim reveals to us the events that transpired in this disconsolate room last night. Oh, it looks like he has like foam at the corner of his lip. Yep, foam at the mouth of the deceased clearly indicates the use of poison. Next to the victim, we notice a large dining plate, which contains, you observe, butter. Oh, soap? 1/2 sizable spar of soap. Meaningful? Indubitably. Why is the soap so purposefully sit upon the dish? The victim's last supper, in fact, yes. Could it be that the man was about to eat it? Of course, the fork reveals the answer. It appears that the young man's appetite was his undoing. Taking up arms in the form of his cutlery, the victim engaged in a deadly battle for his life. Yet the struggle against his hunger was in vain, for in the end he couldn't resist devouring the slippery feast. But London's foul soap was besmirched by foul poison. Yes, the victim's life was claimed by poison that tainted the contents of the plate. The soap and the lather about the young man's mouth are too perfectly matched to another. Why would he eat soap? The cause of death was clearly intoxication due to excessive ingestion of foul soap. Though personally, I have a greater interest in the taste of foul candle wax, of course. The cause of death identified as we proceed to Act 2, where we ponder the next question. Was this suicide or murder? Saseki, what is the matter with you? The audience will recall that the death occurred during the victim's last supper. Did the man dine and die alone? A single teacup suggests the answer. To draw a conclusion on such meager British spellings are weird. Evidence would be foolish, however, certainly. A careful criminal could have absconded with his own cup to cover his tracks. Well, allow me to lift the veil of doubt, my dear fellow. Indeed, what reveals the answer, of course, is the broken lock. Though forced open now at the time of the incident, this door was locked. And the sole key was in the victim's pocket. In other words, when the victim consumed the poison, he must have been alone. Alone with his inferior soap, from whence wafted an inferior scent. And with that acrid aroma lingering in the air, the victim had to descend in tragic solitude. We can take comfort only in the fact that his soul was well cleansed on his way to the thereafter. Concludes the final act of Herlock Sholmes' great deduction. There's just one thing, Mr. Sholmes. You're disposed to identifying just one thing, aren't you, Mr. Naruhodo? Pray, what concerns you? Well, no matter how hungry he was to really think that a man would have eaten soap. It is quite apparent that the man had barely a penny to his name. It is a curious thing, but to one so destitute, soap can suddenly appear quite irresistibly appetizing. How extraordinary. In truth, I've tried a little soap myself in the past. You've eaten it, you mean? My dear fellow, it was some time ago now. My postulation was that it would cleanse my gut. And did it? As I writhed in agony on the floor and spilt the contents of my stomach, yes, I believe it did. The experience taught me a valuable lesson. Soap is quite poisonous. It has an unpleasant taste and leads to great discomfort. In summary, I cannot recommend it. Believe me, I wouldn't eat it even if you did. Some people just need to find things out for themselves. Don't eat soap, guys. There's something that troubles me as well, actually. Oh? What's that? It's Mr. Natsume. Ah! I couldn't help noticing him shuddering and quivering out the corner of my eye. Almost as if Mr. Sholmes' deductions touched a nerve somehow. No nonsense. Well, that clenched teeth episode didn't last. I think, judging by Mr. Natsume's reaction, the Great Detective's deductions may need some gentle corrections in order to reach the actual truth. Yes, Mr. Sholmes' observations and deductions are sometimes a little too sharp. He has a tendency to hit the nail on the side of the head and drive it in an obtuse angle. When he does that, it falls to us to straighten things out. Alright then, let's see what we can do. Yes, we must pick out the key words from Mr. Sholmes' quite brilliant deductions, and discreetly exchange them for something that makes a little more sense. If we can do that, I'm sure we'll arrive at what Mr. Sholmes meant to say in the first place. In that case, are you ready for the second performance of the day? Once again, my dear fellows, for your continued delight and wonder, let the curtain rise for Herlock Sholmes' Logic and Reasoning Spectacular, Act 1. Course correction. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes. Alright. So we're talking about poison here. But we're not talking about soap. I love Natsumi's little look at the camera. Well, you can't deny that a fork implies the man was eating something, or about to eat something. Yes, that's true. If I were to decide to eat some soap, I should prefer to use a fork than attempt it with chopsticks. And of course, only half the bar of soap is left on the plate. But might there not be some other explanation? Something material that proves whether or not the man really ate some soap. Like, what's on the fork? Do you see anything with the fork? I suppose you'd eat soap with a fork, wouldn't you? I don't think it's a question of which implement you'd use. You shouldn't eat soap, full stop. But then why? Why does the man have a fork in his hand? Oh dear, I understand your frustration, Mr. Naruhodo, but please don't take it out on me. The point is, if we decide the man used the fork to eat the soap, we wouldn't be changing Mr. Sholmes' deduction. So we really ought to consider some other clues. Yeah? Like this teacup? Do you think he was drinking tea with the soap? The cup's empty, so there's no way of knowing. How about this for an idea? Perhaps the cup was full of water, and he was dissolving the soap in it so he could gulp as much down as possible. Please remember that he may not actually have been the soap lover that he's been made out to be. Yeah, usually it's, Naruhodo is more, in line with things and not, what's this? Look, there's more soap on the floor here. Mr. Shamspeare must really have loved the stuff. Again, quit agreeing with Sholmes. You usually are more level-headed than that. Let's not jump to conclusions, Mr. Naruhodo. Look closely at the soap. Do you see that it would fit together perfectly with the half bar on the table? How can that be? I think that they are two halves of the same bar that broke apart. So what am I trying to change? Oh, okay. So did the victim really eat soap? No, because the other piece of soap
Take that!
proves that he wasn't. Could it be that the man was about to eat it? Of course, the other piece of soap reveals the answer. It being the other half of the soap on the table. In short, the victim was not eating soap at all. Oh, those shelves, I'm sorry. But it's obvious for me that no depths of hunger could drive any man to attempt to eat soap. You're the one who concluded it, man. Even I, with my unquenchable thirst for practical knowledge, could take only a single bite. But that begs the question of how the man was poisoned, because there's no sign of any food on the table. An excellent observation, Mr. Naruhodo, and one that furnishes us with the answer we seek. If London's foul soap is besmirched by foul poison. Oh, we're hitting this again. No, I think it's the contents of the teacup. Mr. Sholmes is still pushing the soap argument. Perhaps he's suggesting the man licked the soap rather than ate it. If soap in London is that poisonous, I don't think I want to be washing my hands with it. But there are no signs of any food in this room at all. Of course, food isn't the only thing that passes people's lips, is it? Okay. Can we talk about the cup now? I guess we're just going to be in this area the entire time. A Western vessel for serving the infusions of dried tea leaves. It's a teacup, Mr. Naruhodo, as you well know. Stop putting on airs. And it's empty. So we've already established that the victim wasn't eating soap when he died. However, there's significant evidence to suggest that he was drinking tea. My thoughts exactly. Yep. The contents of the teacup.
Take that!
I was trying to get to that mark on the table. Because it looks like something might have spilled. Yes, the victim's life was claimed by poison that tainted the teacup. Indeed, it was been the vessel of choice for practicing prisoners over the centuries. Hence, it would appear that this victim drank every last drop. There's no sign of food anywhere in the room. Which leads to the immutable conclusion. cause of death was clearly intoxication due to the ingestion of poison contained in this teacup. So, suicide or murder? Ah, the Western vessel for infused hot drinks again. It's already featured heavily on our deduction so far. Yes, we can imagine that shortly before his death, Mr. Shakespeare's having a drink of tea. There'd be nothing remarkable about that, but what troubles me is Mr. Natsume's reaction when he heard Mr. Sholmes suggest it. There's more to this deduction than it seems. We must closely examine the scene of the crime again for more clues. Is there another cup? Aha! There is. Why is he... What kind of... wielding the fork and the cup is... What happening here?
Take that!
Did the man dine and die alone? This other teacup suggests the answer. Yes, there were 2 teacups in the room all along. Ah! In other words, this is a strong indication that at the victim's last supper, there was a guest present. At the very least, we can say now with certainty that somebody else was in this room last night taking tea with the victim. What are you talking about? Heavily, unbelievably, unjustly, unreasonable. To draw a conclusion on such meager evidence would be foolish, however, certainly. In which case, what more can we deduce about this possible guest at the table? Well, allow me to lift the veil of doubt, my dear fellow. Do you mean to say you know exactly who was in this room at the time of the victim's death? I think I know exactly who was in it. Look at the reactions. Indeed. It reveals the answer, of course, a lot. No, it's... I'm not sure I like where this deduction is going now. I'm afraid it's too late to go back to the halcyon days of eating too much soap. The identity of the guest who was here last night when the victim passed away is something I have a very bad feeling about. Well, you can try to ignore your feelings, but we cannot ignore the truth, Mr. Naruhodo. No, I suppose not. Time to look around again. Can I not point to it? Oh, what about the books? Maybe it's a pile of books. At first glance, it seems that only things in this room are the makeshift stage and the costumes. I overlooked these 3 books initially. I wonder what they are. Let's see. The titles read The Picture of Monsieur Lecoq, Canterbury Yearnings, and A Meal for Gaboriau. That should sound familiar. Wait, I'm sure I've heard those titles before. It could just be an incredible coincidence, but they're the exact same 3 books that Mr. Natsume purchased the other day. What? Yes, on the day of the unfortunate incident when Miss Green was stabbed. Siski and here has just been to a bookshop and bought them. That's right. And now those 3 titles are here in the room of the victim. Oh, that's Susato. And now the 3 titles are here in the room of the victim. Yet Mr. Natsume claims never to have been here before. What does this mean, do you think? I really don't know what to make of it. Ah, a pile of familiar roses.
Take that!
Indeed. What reveals the answer, of course, is the pile of familiar books. Quite so. It's no mere coincidence that these 3 titles are in this room. It's the link to the truth. Ah! Mr. Natsume, you purchased these books 4 days ago at the secondhand bookshop. That's just coincidence. In that case, you will be able to bring the same 3 titles from your own room, will you not? At this very moment. No, never, non-negotiable! If you can't can't bring your own copies here proves that these 3 books are in fact yours. Having purchased the books 4 days ago and returned to your lodgings, you were arrested the very next day. So you could conceivably have brought the books here on that evening, but you never mentioned that. In other words, you could have only bought these 3 books here in the victim's room, brought these 3 books here in the victim's room. Just dancing to the home. Last night, having returned to your lodgings after the trial concluded at the Old Bailey. In short, there's only one possible conclusion. The victim died here in his room last night as a result of poisoning. And that same night, the victim had a visitor. And that visitor was you, Mr. Saseki Natsume. Thus concludes the final act of Herlock Sholmes' great deduction. I have a feeling we're gonna have to defend him again. Elementary. Not again, not again, not again! Not again! Well then, Mr. Natsume. Well, up here you're gonna have to accompany me down to the yard. Again. But wait! Hold your horses! Yes. Door! Key! Locked! Entry! Exit! Entirely! Impossible! He's so flustered he's being even stranger than normal. What, you think that's an alibi? You could just made a copy. Well, I live in the same building after all. Yeah, I have plenty of opportunity, I'm sure. But... Misery me! Sorry, sir. You'll get your chance to give your side of the story later. Facts speak for themselves, Mr. Mustache. You horrible Herlock Sholmes. He really has found himself an arch rival now, hasn't he? I think I kind of helped with that, though. Come on now, no dilly-dallying. Outside, this carriage waiting. Welcome, student Mr. Naruto, Esquire. I never imagined I'd be in this position again, but... You have to help me, please, please. I'm innocent. Alright, I understand. We'll come to your cell later and talk about it. And one more thing. Yeah? My poor little kitty cat. Please give him his breakfast for me! And so, his evil curse still apparently unbroken, Soseki-san found himself once again the prime suspect in the case of murder. Thanks to the incriminating deduction of the great detective. My dear fellow, that honor belongs to you. Yeah, I definitely was part of that. Well, at least that means Inspector Gregson is no longer here. We can examine the crime scene in more detail now. Yes, that's right. Ah, and of course. What? Have you forgotten what the inspector mentioned before? It was the landlord, Mr. Garadeb, who discovered Mr. Shamsphere? Ah, Mr. John Garadeb, yes. I expect we could find him in the sitting room at the top floor as usual. Right, we must remember to go and talk to him later then. Alright, let's look around, shall we? What's this? Looks like a part of an envelope, I think. Yes, I think you might be right. Perhaps it was torn off when the letter was open? Is that significant? Well, it's a little out of place, perhaps, when you look around the room. There's no sign of a letter, or the rest of the envelope, in fact. Is there? Ah, she's right. And yet, here we have the torn-off end of an envelope. It just strikes me as unusual. I agree. Better take this just in case. We'll have to examine that in a bit. Look at all these costumes. This is great. I'm just gonna look around everything. Who knows what might be important? There's not much on these shelves, is there? Just this wine glass and bottle. And both of them are cracked. Yeah, not much use, are they? What's the matter? Oh, I was just reminded of the Reaper, that's all. Prosecutor Lord Van Zeeks? Yes, he's so reckless with his wine glasses. That's true. I was thinking it's a waste and that he should donate them to some to the needy. You can suggest it next time we meet. Look at these extravagant, bright costumes. Somehow they look out of place in this room, with its grim, shady goings-on. This one looks like a king's attire. A king? I've always dreamt of being a king. Oh, I think you'd be more suited to a feudal lord. A daimyo or such like. Daimyo? I don't know how to pronounce that. With a chanmage top knot? Every Japanese man wishes he had a chanmage. Oh, you'd look wonderful with one. And you already have the sword. Can you imagine what would happen if I walked around the streets of London with a chanmage and a sword? Oh, another bricked up window. As we've seen from the outside, the window is completely bricked up. A vestige of the former window tax that Britons had to pay. What strange things they used to tax in Great Britain. I mean, making people pay for their number of windows they had in the property? It's extraordinary. It's heartbreaking to think of the poor having to block up their windows just to avoid unaffordable tax. Oh! What is it, Mr. Zato? If you look closely, a number of bricks are loose. Oh. Yes, it looks as though an amateur has broken out a few of them just here. More soap? Was it Mr. Shamsphere who did it, I wonder? Being the lodger, we're entering this room. Look at this, Mr. Naruhodo. On the outside, there's a little ledge. And there's something on it. What, outside? It's just so cold outside. You can feel it right through this gap. It did snow all last night. It would be cold. But more importantly, what's on the ledge out there? What are those snow-covered lumps? It's more bars of soap. Soap? What are bars of soap doing lined up on a ledge outside the window? I have no idea. But the pair of them look rather charming like that. Still, it's very strange, isn't it? Bars of soap lined out outside the window? I think perhaps we should take one. There are two, after all. Oh dear, I suppose we could. Oh, what's this? Look here at the soap. Ah! Do you see in the middle there? There's a patch that's a different color. Is there like a coin in there? It's sort of transparent, but some sort of fancy design, I suppose. Only in Great Britain. Looks like the Hinomaru flag of Japan, doesn't it? How wonderful. Probably a very expensive brand. Expensive? Then what's it doing in this ramshackle old room? I'm examining everything except the body right now. Because, you know, the body's always the last thing. Because it's the main thing. You'll do all the things around it first. And here we have another disproportionately large machine. This looks like a meter of some kind. Ah, this is a gas meter, I think. It seems that in this district, residents pay for gas as they use it with coins. Ah, I see. Now that you pointed it out. I can see that there's a slot just here that looks like it would take a coin. So you mean if you put a coin in here... That's right. That would buy you about 2 hours of gas for lights and heating. So if you were a poor person with no money, you'd have to sleep in the freezing cold. Yes. Or if you were a scatterbrain with no change because you forgot to exchange your money at the bank. Thank goodness there's no meter in our office. What's going on here? Oh, it's just ramshackle. Okay. Nothing about the crates. Nothing on the picture. Here's a light. This is a gas wall light, isn't it? It must be connected to a gas pipe in the wall. Gas lights, a gas stove. London really is a city of gas. But now that I think about it, Mr. and Mrs. Garrideb had an open fire on the top floor, didn't they? Oh yes, you're right. I don't recall seeing a gas stove up there. Well, I much prefer real fire anyway. It's so much cozier. And I prefer electric heat to gas because I've seen too many detective TV shows. This is some sort of makeshift stage, I think, isn't it? Where does the audience sit, though, for the nightly Shakespeare performances? Actors aspiring to the great stage must practice their art, Mr. Naruhodo, with or without an audience. In fact, in a related note, perhaps you should set up a mock bench for the defense in your office. What? Then you could practice your art every single day. I'll think about it. If you promise to don a beard and play the role of the judge. Well, if that would help you achieve your goal. This I have to see. Alright. Is that everything? Seems to be. So now... Oh, the poor man. So young to die. Do you suppose it was a painful death, being poisoned as he was? I don't know. All we can do now is hope that he'll be reborn to a better life. Yes, I suppose you're right. I wonder... Do you think that putting our hands together in a Japanese prayer will help with British soul? Sorry. I made sure I had references ready for just such an occasion as this, actually. This book is entitled The Beginner's Guide to Praying for the Departed, the British Way. I'll just reread it now. One moment. There's quite a spine on that book, isn't there? Also, where does she keep pulling all these books from if each book is different? I don't think there's anything else here. We should probably go talk to Mr. Garrideb. I think I've seen everything there is to see. Oh, I do have to... Observe the envelope. Whoever opened this envelope didn't bother with a letter opener or scissors, did they? Yes, whoever opened it was clearly someone with an unrefined temperament. And judging from the angle of the rip here, the person in question must have been right-handed. Miss Isato, I think perhaps someone's been reading too much of the adventures of Sherlock Holmes. You can never read too much of it, Mr. Naruhodo, never. This part is a different color. It's exquisite design, isn't it? Trust the British to turn a boring bar of soap into something special. I quite like it. It reminds me of the Hinomori design of the Japanese flag. I expect this is rather expensive soap. That doesn't seem likely, given who it belongs to. It's not a coin. It seems to be some sort of melted liquid. I say melted because the bar around it looks melted. Okay, well, that's enough of that. Mr. Garrideb's room? Here we are again, the eccentric landlord's eccentric top floor abode. We're here because Mr. Garrideb is the one who discovered the incident this morning, don't forget. Ah, you chaps, eh? Yes, good morning, sir. Thank you for your cooperation in courts yesterday. It was quite a trial. As much for Mr. Garrideb as anyone, really. Came straight back here after the business at the Bailey yesterday. Didn't expect to wake up to more bawling nonsense this morning. I wonder if you wouldn't mind telling us exactly what happened, Mr. Garrideb? Yes, I suppose you'd like to know all about that dead loss of an actor chap in the ground floor room? Those were exactly Inspector Gregson's words, weren't they? I mean, you didn't have to stand up. That must have been a real shock for you. It must have been a real shock for you this morning. I hear you discovered what had happened. Ah, well, I hope this actor chap rises at 5 o'clock sharp every morning without fail. But at 5:30 this morning, he still hadn't lit the gas. So I went down and knocked on his door. But no bally answer. And that's when you broke into his room by kicking down the door. Well, I called on that rum-looking Japanese chap to do the grunt work, of course. Wasn't it a little premature to kick the door down? The man could have just overslept by half an hour. That's very true, Mr. Naruhodo. If 30 minutes oversleeping warranted such behavior, I'd have to kick your door down every morning. Well, better be safe and sorry and all that. Is it just me, or is he avoiding our gaze now all of a sudden? Except that it was a sorry situation indeed that you found on the far side of the door. Also, I remember thinking of this whenever, because I knew that this second case would come up, but I don't remember much about it except for two things. And I think that, wasn't Mrs. Garrideb stopping him from talking about extra things that didn't have to do with the case? Like, of course it was the fire and all of that, and her throwing things at him. But then there was like something he said about the borders that they had. So, I don't know. Except that it was a sorry situation indeed that you found on the far side of the door. Oops. The victim's name was Mr. Shamspeare, I believe. Is that right? Yes, William Shamspeare. To the ground floor room 3 months ago now. And how would you describe him? In a word, destitute. Destitute? Well, let's face it, the only redeeming feature of that room is the cheap rents. Anyone wanting to live in a place like that is either broke or has a bally screw loose. It's so hard to choose which category Seki-san would fall into. Mr. Naruhodo, that's a little rude. He was doing research as well. Research? Into what? Shakespeare, of course, Shakespeare. Read a few plays in the old bar myself, Romeo and Hamlet, and all that. Ah, yes, William Shakespeare is England's most highly regarded classical playwright and author. He's known as Sao in Japanese, and many of his works have already been translated. Seems incredible that Shakespeare was shortened to Sao, though. Someone was too heavy-handed there. There were a lot of costumes in the victim's room, actually, weren't there? Of course, Mr. Natsume is a scholar of English literature as well. I imagine he and Mr. Shamspeare would have had much in common. Shakespeare interpretation disagreement leads to shocking murder. Let's hope it's not that. Mr. Naruhodo, really? How rude. After Mr. Natsume's trial yesterday, you came straight back here, I believe, didn't you? Did you notice anything strange between then and this morning? Well now, it must have been about 6 in the evening by the time I got home. The snow was coming down rather heavily, as I remember, and it was completely dark already. That failed actor chap was out at the time. Mr. Garrideb noticed there was no light from his room or something, I suppose. Couldn't summon the energy for anything much, so just sat in front of the fire up there. It was after 8 before Shamspeare got back. And the chap was up till past 1 in the morning. I'll have you know. I suppose he met his end sometime after that. I was asleep by then, so rather in the dark there. Well, thank you. That was very illuminating. Wait, hold on. What did he say about 1 o'clock? Up until past 1 in the morning. Right. Is everything alright, Mr. Sato? Well, I was just thinking it's a little strange, that's all. Mr. Garrideb, you were up here in your room all evening, if I've understood correctly? I'm not a big fan of stairs, not with this blasted leg. Then, how is it that you seem to know the precise movements of your tenant on the ground floor, I mean? Ah! That's a very good point. I can't imagine that you could hear noises from the ground floor all the way up here. Does this old man like to spy on his tenants? Is that it? I say, I know what you're thinking, and it's bully outrage. I'm ex-military, don't you know? I don't go around spying on my tenants. Why would I? Then how did you know, Mr. Garrett? It's a gas, woman. The gas tells me everything. The gas. What on earth do you mean, sir? How can the gas tell you anything, let alone everything? Tell you anything, let alone everything. Well, as you're probably aware, the gas is supplied to the building by pipes. Yes, I'd more or less worked that out. Every room in the building is connected by a single pipe to the gas main outside. And the gas company supplies gas to properties via the main. Yes, I understand that too. Let me see if I can explain. Let's say I was to light the gas lamps up here. What do you suppose would happen? Well, obviously the room would get brighter. Exactly. But at the same time, lights in all the other rooms of the house would dim for a moment. They dim? Why? Perhaps it's because when you light a gas lamp, it briefly uses more gas than usual. And that reduces the amount of gas in the pipe for the other lamps that are connected to it. That might explain why the other lamps dim momentarily, mightn't it? Yes, of course, because everything's connected to a single supply pipe. Is that supposed to happen, though? It sounds rather undesirable. And jolly good point. The fact is, the gas company's pipes in these parts are pretty hopeless, long worn out, and barely got any gas in them to start with. Opposite's also true, of course. Extinguish the lamps up here, and they glow brighter than the rest of the house. Ah, right, I see. So by watching the flickering of the lamps in one room, you can determine what's happening elsewhere. You've got it. Of course, because when people come back home in the evening and before they go to sleep at night, what they're guaranteed to do is either light or put out their lamps and fires. Clever. In point of fact, the rooms on the ground floor and the one above us has slightly different amounts of gas. By watching the lights in here closely, I can work out almost exactly what's going on in the whole house. Gosh, that's fascinating, Mr. Garrett. Absolutely fascinating. Ah, well, nothing too really. And I can't really see how it's going to help it. Wow. And I can't really see that it's going to help us with the case either. What I'd like to know is why Mr. Gerda is so interested in what his tenants are up to in the first place. I feel like there's more to it than the idle curiosity. Are we supposed to show him something? Are we supposed to show him this? Mr. Gerda, could I show you this? No, but that seems like a... Okay. Maybe he knows about the soap. Nope. I don't think there's really much to... figure here. Alright. Let's go off to the Briar Road, I guess. And then we'll go to the prison and visit Mr. Natsume. Oh, okay, nothing of interest here, then. Oh. I don't understand. there's literally nothing that I can converse with him about. Is it... back here again? Where do you want me to be, game? I can't get there. It's shaded out, like I can't see it or something. Oh, she's not here anymore. Can I examine her bag since she's not here? It must be a bag of Miss Green's personal belongings. She would have been brought directly here after she was found stabbed on the pavement, though. I suspect a friend or family member probably brought some things for her. Alright then, let's see what's inside. Change of clothes, no doubt, and... No, Mr. Naruhodo, you must never scrutinize a young maiden's personal belongings. The young maiden might have chocolates, or biscuits, or caramel. Alright, I'm gonna examine here because it's the thing that I can do. We know what the screen decided now. The aftermath of the fiery altercation the other day. Don't suppose I'll be able to clear this mess up for some time now. Oh dear, this must be a very difficult situation for you. I'll say. People talk about the twists of fate and whatnot. This is a twist and a half. Rotten show all around. He's clearly struggling with everything that's happened. Good to see Mr. Gyarados' Medal of Honor is so proudly displayed on the wall. The inscription reads, "For distinguished participation," if you remember. Yes, I remember, because I remember thinking even I might stand a chance of picking up honors like that. Wouldn't know it look at me now, perhaps, but I had my devil may care days, you know. Devil may care? What did you get up to? Well, won't pass now, of course, and best left there. Best not, I want to know now! Oh, a copy of Rand's magazine! The Adventures of Herlock Sholmes is being read all over London. Isn't it wonderful? Naturally, one asks oneself if such a singular detective could really exist. But having met the chap, it's undeniable. He is most certainly singular. Singularly dangerous. That's genuine public opinion for you, Mrs. Otto. Perhaps it should be reflected in the stories. Make no mistake, Mr. Naruhodo, I intend to snuff out the sort of public opinion we just heard personally. I'm starting to see where Mr. Sholmes' untainted reputation comes from now. Single apron drying on the enormous cannon-shaped clothes horse. Look. No, Mr. Naruhodo, that is a real cannon. I knew that. I was just testing you. Piece of history, that is. Seen plenty of action on the battlefield, I can tell you. Now the old girl and I are just enjoying the peace and quiet of the retirement together. And of course, come in handy if the enemy decided to launch an attack again. Is there a war going on that I don't know about? It's a good view over the wintry East End from up here. It's an impressively gray scene. There's really nothing comparable in Japan. And down below, Briar Road, partly blanketed in snow. On the pavement where poor Miss Green was struck in the back by that knife. Thinking about it, this is the only room in this building that actually has a window to the outside world. Sometimes Great Britain really does seem like a strange land, doesn't it? I suppose all foreign cultures seem strange at first. Imagine how an Englishman would feel arriving in Japan and seeing people with a Chon-mage topknot. Well, that is a good point. I'm definitely pronouncing that wrong. It would be like Chomagi or something like that. Okay, I don't think I'm getting anything from this place. Should I present the list of books? Nope. What do you want from me, game? It's not Briar Road. Go back to Mr. Shamspeare's room. Maybe I missed something here. I keep thinking that this is a person standing there. It, like, scares me every time. That floorboard looks loose, does it not? Oh. Oh my goodness. I thought I touched on everything here. Okay, fine. Since this is probably where the poison was. One of the teacups that Mr. Shamspeare and his guest drank from last night. But don't go drinking from them, Mr. Naruto. There's bitter poison inside. I'm not planning on drinking any, don't worry. Anyway, the cups are both empty. That's true. So, one was Mr. Shamspeare's, and the other must be the cup that Mr. Natsume was drinking. But Tsuseki-san wasn't poisoned, of course. Perhaps we should take these so that we can examine them in more detail later. Oh, good. Darn, I wish I would have gotten them before. Looks like you're having a good snoop around, eh? Inspector Gregson! Pack Sassoon! After I threw that little Japanese fella in the clink, I went and reported this to the investigation division. 5 minutes' time, the police were cordoned off by the yard. Oh, I see. Well, we'd better be leaving then. Poor Mr. Natsume must be feeling very low being back in the cell again so soon. Hold on, let me examine this just in case I lose it. So this one... This must be the cup that Mr. Shamspeare is drinking from then. It's stained on the inside. Tea does that, I'm afraid. Even green tea. Really? Never noticed before. You've never noticed? Well, I never leave it in the cup long enough to leave a mark. I like to gulp it down. Drink tea while it's hot. That's the Japanese way, isn't it? Oh dear, so many people seem to have the wrong idea about our culture, and most of them are Japanese. Anything else interesting on here? Oh, wait. This is the teacup from which Mr. Natsume was drinking. Yes, unlike the other one, the inside of the cup is completely clean. I suppose he must have drank the contents before the tea had a chance to leave a mark. I always gulp it down, too. Sorry, Mr. Naruto. Well, you just sip it little by little, it goes cold. Clearly, I shall have to instruct you in the proper way to take tea. There's no tea ring on the inside of Mr. Natsume's cup. I thought that it already mentioned something about the tea ring. Or the tea ring. Okay. Poor Mr. Natsume must be feeling very low being back in the cell. I'm sure. We should probably go and... What's wrong, Mr. Naruhodo? Yeah! Out, brief candle. Life's but a walking shadow, a poor player. That struts and frets this hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. Now, how soundeth the next part? It is a tale told by an idiot full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Indeed! Oh, happy day! Walking Dead! And that is one of the things that I remembered, which totally put me off guard whenever I was watching it, because I saw it out of the corner of my eye while she's talking, as you're meant to. But I was seeing it out of the corner of my eye as Susato was talking. Like, I saw him move, and then I looked, and then and by the time I read Naruhodo's line, he was already up. But that was It was terrifying. It was terrifying. It was like him just coming up off, like, you totally think he's dead. Yeah, oh man, to experience that for the first time again, that would be crazy. Because I knew it was happening, I knew it was coming, and that's why I knew that I wasn't done investigating down here, because I'm like, I know that he awakens. The fella isn't dead at all! What was that nonsense he was saying, though? I think it was Shakespeare. I think, yes, it was from William Shakespeare's Macbeth. A soliloquy from Act 5, Scene 5. Shakespeare. I hope you guys are able to enjoy that moment. So it was that the victim, Mr. William Shakespeare, came back to life. The man had indeed been poisoned. It transpired that it hadn't killed him. He was taken by the emergency carriage to a nearby hospital for treatment, and Inspector Gregson evicted us from the scene of the crime, or whatever that now was. By the way, Mr. Shakespeare should look familiar as well, because we've definitely met him before. Speaking of, this guy here should look familiar too. Whatever do you think will happen now? Good question. What a strange situation for Mr. Natsume. Arrested for murder, but then the victim comes back to life. I think perhaps the victim was never dead in the first place. It seems very likely that Mr. Shakespeare did consume poison, as we deduced. But was it an accident, attempted suicide, or attempted murder? Until the truth can be established, I imagine the police will keep Mr. Natsume in custody. I suppose so. Let's hope it doesn't come to anything more than a night in the cells. Oh, what's this? What's that man doing over there? Also, is that a bar of soap? Looks like he's trying to see inside Saseki-san's lodgings. Is something wrong, Mr. Naruhodo? Excuse me, could we have a word? Ah! He just ran off. I feel sure that I've seen that man somewhere before. Where was it? I do too, but I don't remember. Well, we've done as much investigating here as we can, I think. Perhaps we ought to go back to the prison and speak with Mr. Natsume again. A good idea. Okay, now we go to the prison. Can I just look at this real quick though? Because there's a bar of soap here, I'm pretty sure. See that green thing? With the exception of the top floor where Mr. and Mrs. Garrett live, all the windows are bricked up. It's because of the old window tax that was charged to the number of windows. Yes, we all know this. Poor members of society fielded many of their windows, but the tax has been abolished, so the windows could be opened up again. Unfortunately, it would appear that the residents of this district can't afford to pay to have that work done. It is a sad state of affairs. Especially for people like poor Mr. Natsume, who have to live all cooped up in a windowless room. I suppose that's the price you pay for living in very cheap accommodation. It all seems rather pointless when you put it like that. Okay, one more thing about the green thing. To the prison! We better tell Mr. Natsume that, he's not dead. Aw. He's so sad. Look, Mr. Naruhodo. Mr. Natsume, have the police finished questioning you now? Welcome to Mr. Naruhodo's Esquire. Yes? What is he? Tell me! Is he a ghost? Is he here to haunt me? Let me guess, you're talking about Mr. Sholmes? He actually calls himself a great detective, Mr. Natsume, not a ghost. But his diabolic deductions, they're not of this world. They've left me. Cursed. I'm cursed, I tell you. Well, that sort of hurts. Credit where credit is due, Mr. Naruhodo. You were heavily involved in the deduction, too. Yes, moving on. We have some wonderful news. Oh? The victim that we all thought was dead has come back to life again. Now, in the absolutely worst case, you could only be tried for attempted murder. That's great, isn't it, Mr. Natsume? It's terrible! Oh. I'm stuck in this cell, suffering for some silly wrong end of the stick. You did it, didn't you? Confess, you're a killer. Why the mustache? Constant questions. I'm sorry to hear that. Ah, the selfish shyster? It's a word you don't hear every day. Make up your mind. Are you dead or alive? If you were just coming back to life, why bother dying? Oh, he's talking about Shamsphere. Wickedly wishy-washy William. Well, it seems likely that Mr. Shamsphere was never actually dead in the first place. Ah, yes, that might make sense. I'm pleased that he's alive, of course. Our lively debate last night was much fun. It'd be sad to think it was our last. Oh. Oops. Mr. Natsume, does this mean that you did see the victim last night? You met with Mr. Shamsphere, did you? You should tell me everything. I am your lawyer. I'm not saying another word. I demand to have a lawyer. I am your lawyer. Who do you think I am? Please, Mr. Natsume, we need to hear your side of the story. Why am I cursed like this? Can you tell us exactly what happened last night then, Mr. Natsume? There's nothing to tell! Mr. Naruhodo, Esquire, I'm eternally grateful to you for helping me with that accursed case yesterday. The case that saw poor Miss Green hospitalized after she ended up with a knife in her back. It's hard to believe that it was only yesterday. Especially because this is the second game in the series. And we've done 3 cases since. After the trial was over, I trudged my weary way back to my lowly lodgings. And that evening, at past 9, it must have been, I visited Mr. Shamsphere. So you did go to the victim's room, then? As we feared. I didn't do anything wrong! I'd never been to his room before. It was the first time. Then what made you decide to go? I bumped into him when I arrived back at the house. We got to chatting and developed into a discussion. But he said he had to go out, so I bade him farewell. That ties in with what Mr. Meredith said. The victim went out and came back after 8. We met again later that evening, around 9 or just after, when I took him some nice tea I brewed as a gift. So it was you who brought the tea that had clearly been drunk at the scene then. And I suppose you were discussing the works of Shakespeare, were you? Yes, that's right. That's exactly right. Romeo and Juliet. Who was the stronger? It was a delightful debate. I'm sure. Such a stimulating subject, Shakespeare! And the debate became very heated, so you slipped poison into Mr. Shamsphere's tea? No, never! Not at all! Team Juliet won, that was me! And when I left his room, the flamboyant fellow was fighting fit. I swear, categorically. Mr. Natsume, you often say the same thing about yourself. I've noticed that you have a cursed existence. I'm sure I've mentioned this to you before, but I've been here in Great Britain for a year now, and in that time I've learned that it's no place for me. It can be very trying to live in a foreign land and adapt to the ways of another culture. There are foreigners everywhere I look, and they all stare at me. They all laugh. That's the impression I get whenever I go out. It makes me scared to leave my room. Which is why I've become a recluse. Even in my room, I find no respite from my fears. I've moved more times than I can remember, and then, 1 week ago, I moved into Briar Road. But why? I mean, why did you choose that place? It doesn't seem very comfortable. Because the rent is cheap. There's so little money, it spoke to me. The rent? Obviously, there's a reason why it's cheap, because the room is cursed. Cursed? Cursed how? The previous occupant, the man who lived there before I took the room, died there. Oh, no. He was only a young man, but one morning he was found dead and no one could explain why. Surely no one would want to live in a room with a history like that. I didn't. When letting agent recommended the place, I wavered. But I want books, and books cost money, and horrible history is a small price to pay. When I realized it would mean I could buy more books, I signed the lease like lightning. Brave or blinkered. But after I moved in, I soon came to realize what I'd done. I realized how horrible that room's history really was. Gosh, was it really so awful? How did the room's horrible history affect you, Mr. Natsume? What happened? First, it was just a feeling. A feeling of beady eyes boring into my back, watching me. Do you think that might have just been your mind playing tricks on you? No. My mind doesn't know any tricks. It was someone else. It's been one long nightmare ever since I was given the keys to the place. A nightmare? You've been having bad dreams, you mean? All the souls who've died in that room lean over me in my sleep and try to strangle me. It really is horrible. And now I come to think of it, it happened again last night, too. The very same night that Mr. Shamsphere was writhing in agony from the poison in his body. I was on the verge of being suffocated silently by those miserable spirits in my room. You simply must move out of that room as soon as possible. Yes, you're right, I know it. And that's why I'm already searching for the next room with a history to call home. I think perhaps you should try to avoid accommodation with any kind of history at all. Otherwise, I'm scared that you yourself may be history. Whew, Susato-san knows how to make the man listen. Of course. Mr. Lord of the Manor is worried about the curse on my room as well. You mean Mr. Garadeb? Yes, he knows that if people keep dying there, he'll never be able to rent it out again. Well, that's true. I, for one, wouldn't go near the place. Ah, perhaps. That may explain why the landlord pays so much attention to the gas lamps and his tenants' movements. You mean because he's worried about their well-being? He does seem to have an unusually keen interest in the amount of gas in the pipes. There must be a reason why he keeps such close tabs on the occupants of his let rooms. What do you mean, he pays so much attention to the gas lamps? Oh dear, no, it's nothing to do with you, Mr. Natsume. Please forget I said anything. Oh, now you're talking about me behind my back as well. What's important is that Mr. Shamsphere isn't in fact dead at all. Once he's come around and he's able to tell us what happened, we'll be able to get you released. Yes, please. Oh, I do hope you're right. Excuse me. Inspector Gregson. Couldn't help overhearing what you just said, and on that note, I have some good news and some bad news. Oh? What you want first? Always, every time. The bad news comes first. When hope is all you have, hold on to it. That's my guiding principle. Alright, well, in that case, good news it is. That's... I think he said to do the bad news first, dude. Also, I love how Iris asked that question last time. And she was saying that you can tell a lot about a person by how they answer it. Huh? Sorry, it's just a lot easier to explain everything that way. Why did you ask me my preference? As you might have heard, the victim, Mr. Shamsphere, was just unconscious. He's come around now. Yeah, we saw it happen in all its terrifying glory. Still being treated by the doctors, but we managed to get a written statement from him already. Oh, isn't that wonderful, Mr. Natsume? Oh, thank goodness. It's all over then. I can leave this somber cell. Sorry, no, that's not in the cards. Okay, that should say in the cards, right? It's not in the cards. What? Oh, I ever not, Inspector. Mr. Shamsphere has implicated someone as being responsible for what happened last night. Implicated someone? Oh dear. You don't mean... Sorry to say I do, yes. He's pointing the finger at you, Mr. Natsume. Ah! By sweet poison did he seeketh to end my life. That wicked... caitiff? Saseki Natsume. No! So I'm afraid you'll be appearing in court as plain. We wanted to make the necessary preparations. No! And so once again, Seki-san found himself having to take the dock in the Old Bailey. Whether his room was haunted or whether he was just terribly unlucky, I knew I had no choice. The following day, I would represent him in court, and do my utmost to break the curse that blighted him. With that, a new case has begun. Took a while to get to be continued. Yeah, no, I remembered him coming back to life. Because it was terrifying. In all its terrifying glory, as Runescape says. I don't have much to say right now, except that I don't really remember that much. I forgot about the lights and how Mr. Garrett was paying attention to the people. But yeah, okay. So I feel like in the last case we did at the Cloud of Kokoro, Mr. Garrett was saying something about the tenants, and he might have almost said something about the tenant that died. So I don't know how long ago that was based on what it was saying. It was right before Mr. Natsume would have moved in, I guess. But anyway, I guess we're on to the trial tomorrow, and hopefully some of the things that we found in our investigation today will help us with that. By tomorrow, I mean next episode here. Or I guess episode isn't the right way to say it, because episode is each of the cases now. Again, very strange. But anyway, stay tuned, stick around, and subscribe if you are wanting to see more as they come on out. And I will talk to you guys next time.